Hello everybody, welcome to this special presentation. Today we have the honor to host Mr. Steven Stairs, President and CEO of Benton Resources. If we take a look at this company here, technically speaking, it's staying at an important support at 5 cents. The stock is going to be a buy, so Mr. Stairs is with us to tell you why his company should represent your next investment. Mr. Stairs, thank you for coming by.
Thanks, Christian, for having me.
Excellent. Now let's talk about Benton Resources. How would we consider Benton Resources? As an exploration company, pure exploration company, or some kind of a project generator?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Benton certainly starts out at an early stage picking projects up. Then we do a little bit of exploration, bring them up to certain levels, and then we do like to either joint venture them out to major or junior companies, take equity positions, collect royalties, and so forth inside the company.
Okay. Now, you have two main projects, and one thing that struck me when I was reading at your corporate presentation is that you guys have been able to kind of unrisk those projects with a lot of those joint ventures that you have made. One key project is the Capray project, where you have an agreement with Nordman. On August 15, they were supposed to acquire 10% of the project. So is everything on track for Nordman to acquire that 10%?
Yeah, it's actually right up until August 30th, they'll actually acquire 20% of the project.
Okay.
As of the end of May, or sorry, the end of April, they have to pay Benton another $125,000, and that will get them the first 5%.
Okay.
They have until August 28th to produce a PEA, 43-101s on all the deposits that we've joint ventured with them.
Okay.
But they're on track to release those to us hopefully by the end of April here. So we'll be able to put out 43-101 compliant resources of nice high-grade ounces in the ground, and then they're building towards the time frames and what we need to to move towards production in a full PEA, and then onward they'll earn up to 50% to taking us to a full feasibility.
Okay, so they will only take the 50% after the PEA release, if I understand.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, there's various stages. So they'll actually collect like 20%, then another 10% to get them to 30, and then to 40, and so on, by doing various stages, including environmental permitting, all the stages to get us to a full feasibility and project financing.
Okay. But what will be your role in that? Have you just sold their project to them, and they will be the operator, and just stay on the sideline and watch them do the work?
No, actually, what it works for us actually is we do all the exploration.
Okay.
They fund the exploration that we're planning on doing.
Okay.
So they had to spend a minimum of $4.5 million to get us to the full fees. There has been a lot of historical work and drilling done on these deposits, and including an exploration ramp put in and partially developed. So these are really nice advanced projects that we picked up. Again, we bought them in the bottom of the market. We paid less than $1.50 an ounce for the gold in the ground. Okay. The original vendors, which were several of them, it took us a few years to put it together. They started out at $11 million purchase price, and we eventually paid less than $600,000 for all of it.
Okay. Now, with the geology, you said it's a project that had good historical results. Is there a particular zone where you're going to focus on, or is this a project where the exploration potential is actually limited or more unlimited?
The exploration potential is astronomical.
Okay.
It's on a huge structure that crosses through the whole island of Newfoundland called the Cape Ray Fault. Companies such as Marathon Gold, which recently, I think they're getting over 1 million ounces now, maybe up to 1.5 million ounces in their new discoveries. We've done a deal with Meadows Creek on the Staghorn property. It's on the same structure. Okay. And Benton has also found new zones outside the area that we've joint ventured with Nordman. Okay. So the potential for multi-million ounces completely on the project.
Makes sense. Is there a deadline for the 43-101 report to be released?
Like I say, the deadline is August 28th, but we do expect it hopefully by the end of this month that we can give our shareholders a good update on what we're looking at in size. But those 43-101s are going to be subject to change as we drill more holes and connect more of the deposits together and so forth.
Okay. Now let's talk about the two other projects you have, Staghorn Gold that you just mentioned, and the Mealy Lake project, where you also have a joint venture with Platinum Group.
Correct.
So which project is going to be your biggest focus right now between both, and tell us more about those two projects.
So Platinum Group is the operator on the Mealy Lake complex, and that's basically in southwestern Labrador. Okay. And the reason why we went there is Altius Minerals and Anglo American announced a $20 million deal where they had some new discoveries in copper, nickel, platinum, palladium. So Benton quickly done some homework, said there's good geology here, we can pick up a good piece of ground. We did so. Within a couple of weeks we had found a partner, Platinum Group. They're spending $2.4 million. At this point they haven't earned any interest. They've spent about $400,000 I think on, on airborne survey. Last September, we're boot and hammer guys, so we like to get on the ground and do the work ourselves. So myself and my two brothers, Michael and Sandy, we went up to the project with the VP of Platinum Group. We discovered magmatic sulfides, copper, nickel. We released some results. People can look at it on our website. But for our first pass and first phase exploration program, it was very successful.
Okay.
And we're looking to hopefully get drilling in there probably by July, August, and that's going to be operated again by Platinum Group Metals from what they're telling us.
Okay.
Outside of that, the Staghorn property, again, we like to project generate and actually bring projects in, but we went and looked at this project because it's on the same structure as the Cape Ray. It made sense for us to look at it seriously. Sandy, my brother, who discovered multiple high-grade boulders of arsenopyrite and granites, which indicates to us this could be a large system. The more we looked at it, the more we wanted to do a deal. So I brought it to my board. They agreed that we'd pick it up. And in a tough market, it's a fairly good deal for us. And we're currently doing metallurgical work because it's got a lot of arsenopyrite, and we believe it's going to be liberating. So if we can get 80 to 90 to 95% recovery from bottle roll acid tests, we're going to be pretty happy, and we'll hit it real hard and hopefully have a nice big discovery. It's not very far from Marathon Gold, and they've spent I don't know, probably $20 million in the last couple of years drilling their deposits off. So, we're strategically planting ourselves into areas where if there is a takeover, the next obvious target would be us if we got a good resource. And so, it's a deal that seems to work well for us. We've done it several times in the past. Okay.
Now, sorry, are your team mostly geologists or mostly people from the financial world? Because
our
team were in the ground with your brother too.
We certainly have some financial backing. We actually got a Swiss director who's most of his career has been in investing into things from Disney movies to all the way up to mining exploration deals. His name is Raphael Gerstel. But we also have an extremely good technical team. They're all ex-Falconbridge, Noranda. In fact, I started with Noranda when I was 17 years old, and basically our team is almost the same team that we started all together. With Clint Bars, our VP of Exploration, excellent exploration geologist, and Paul DeGagne, same thing. Been involved in multiple big discoveries. So
I was asking you that question mostly because when you have a team of geologists, all they want to do is drill. But sometimes the financial guys say, hey, guys, you cannot drill here because we don't have the money necessary for that. So I'm trying to assess a discipline that you guys have in terms of managing your cash flow. How would you what would you tell an investor concerning that?
Yeah, we've been pretty astute to keeping our cash levels high. We currently trade way below our cash. So that in itself is a good buying opportunity for anybody. We've always managed to roll deals out, take equity positions in companies. Some of those companies have done very well. We sold a project for $15 million to Stillwater Mining. So we've always managed to caress that along and keep our cash position tight and find ore bodies. So
now, how much cash do you guys have right now?
We currently got about $5.5 million in hard cash, and anywhere from $500,000 to $700,000 in equities given any given day in the market. Now,
one thing that struck me is that recently on March 13, you guys announced you asked for approval to buy back some shares.
Correct.
Will that, well, of course, that decision is going to have a positive impact on your stock price, but will that give you enough money for the drilling that you intend to do in the Staghorn or the Capray project?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or would you need to raise more money?
Generally, like I say, we spend probably $1 million to $2 million a year in exploration, depending on how aggressive we're going to be, and depending on how successful we are. We'll we'll be able to raise money, and we believe we should be able to raise the share price. The last thing we want to do is we want to protect our shareholders. So, if the price starts falling down to 3 and 3.5 cents, it's really tough to get off that bottom if you've got a big overhang of stock that completely gets, overturned at millions of shares. So, on good news, next thing you're buying stock back at 4 cents. So we want to protect our shareholders by putting in a solid base at the 3-4 cent level. And if people need out, and I mean there's various reasons for people needing to exit stocks or whatnot, we'll support it, and hopefully they can exit and be happy. But it's key for us to get news out, get the price up, and that's we believe our news flow this year is going to be tremendous. So I think we're gonna see a nice.
Now, is Benton Resources going to be only focused on Newfoundland and Labrador? Because I know recently you just sold a property that was in Ontario to an investor group. So is that a strategic move to be only in Newfoundland and Labrador?
Not necessarily. I mean, Ontario's got some big mines, and we've done very well in the past in Ontario. So we always look for opportunities, and if it's there, we'll take it. The only reason why we're moving into Newfoundland, there's not a lot of native land claims in Newfoundland. There's not a lot of government struggles in those areas. So it is a little easier to work. Plus, Newfoundland government gives grant money back. So if you spend up to $137,000, you could get $100,000 back. So there's some good incentives there. Ontario is a great place to work. I live here, or live there, and think we will be doing work there, but it is a little more challenging nowadays.
Now, for 2015, what's going to be your biggest focus for 2015? What should we expect from Benton Resources in terms of the news that should come out in this year?
Well, I mean, it's going to be PEA coming out on the Cape Ray. We'll probably be exploring on Staghorn in the next couple of weeks here. Lots of news coming out on that. Hopefully some drill programs. Some drilling in on the extension of the Cape Ray deposits themselves. Drilling within the Cape Ray deposits themselves. Hopefully drilling up in Labrador with PTM if they go ahead with the plans that they're making. And the Element 79, which is a local Montreal company, which we just vended our Ontario project to. They're going to be doing several thousands of meters of drilling on that project. So we have lots of news flow coming, and we're looking at other opportunities as we speak. So I think it's going to be a busy year.
Busy year. All right. So I hope you won't make too much gray hair for this busy year, Mr. Stairs. And we definitely look forward to hear back from you when you give us the PEA on the Cape Ray project and also on the Mealy Lake and Staghorn Gold project.
Thanks very much.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers.